Hey, what's up guys, I'm Rach Warren and welcome back to Galactic Civilizations IV, Megastructures. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the next turn, working on getting the espionage attack here, as well as building up our military. Once this fleet here is done, we're going to start our first war to conquer our mothy neighbors over there. So got a situation report any planet will do. With some key breakthroughs and advances in molecular technology, we can now recycle dead planets and turn them into something entirely usable, Gigamass. Gigamass will be the fuel that propels us into our next industrial revolution. So this is something that we already started doing. Perhaps we got this event because we just finished up the harvesting of our first planets. This is going to get us 400 in the treasury, so quite helpful. We also got a situation report to think bigger. It is time for our civilization to ascend. By capturing the power of a star, we can become a Class 2 civilization. We will need a steady supply of energy to fuel our ambitions. A white star is preferred, but any will do. So this starts a mission to research the stellar architecture and build that Dyson sphere so that we can get to the Class 2 civilization and reach the level of the ancestor civilization that we so wish to emulate. Alright, so I was going to choose a new technology. Obviously we're not going to be able to get that one just yet because I think it should still take quite a while. Yeah, 17 turns. So we just got to step up our research before it's going to be possible to work on that. We could get improved missile targeting, interstellar currency, or precursor mysteries, which would get us the protection fields. And this tech branch is available because of us having that ancient civilization trait. And this will unlock the living ships tech, which is incredibly powerful because our ships will no longer need to be maintained and will self-heal. So this will be great for our economy, but also for our military. And so I think we should go ahead and work on the precursor mysteries. That's going to take just 2 turns. And frankly, when techs say that they're going to take 2 turns, many times we get them done in just 1. Alright, so we got our new ship. This is a Corvette. So now we're just waiting on 1 more fighter and 1 more bomber to be constructed. Each of those will just take a turn, and then we'll be able to start our war. You notice our flagship is now researching an anomaly. There are now more anomalies that we've discovered all around the galaxy, so we'll start working on those. Get a variety of different types of bonuses. We're getting a trade offer. One thing I forgot to mention last episode is I do have some different settings for this campaign. So I sped up research and manufacturing, so both of those are quicker, not just for us, but for all the civilizations. However, I disabled tech trading. So moving through the tech tree is a lot slower now than it was in the past campaign, since you can't simply trade for the technologies you don't have. You also can't use tech trading to just get vast credits and resources. I feel like it's incredibly overpowered, particularly if you focus on research, and so therefore I decided to just disable it for this particular campaign. As usual, the AI is offering us a terrible trade, so we're going to go ahead and just ignore them. We won't even reject it. We'll just ignore the offer completely. So our planet harvester has completed the harvesting of this planet. So this dead planet has been completely destroyed, but it's not useless because we can send an asteroid miner here to get minerals that will be sent to the Ring of the Ancients. So let's want to work on the next location now. Not as much Gigamass there, so it won't take us long, but now we have 12 Gigamass that we can make use of. I already have some ideas on what we're going to use that for as well. So yeah, that only took 1 turn to get done. That means there are no more dead planets that we can harvest here. There is 1 over here though. There's also 2 over here. I think we'll move over to this one first. So I'll harvest that. That's 10 Gigamass. Where these ones would grant 2 and 10. So this is an interesting development. The Phalanoids Advance, our moth-like neighbors, has declared war on us. So we kind of look like the victim here, rather than the aggressors. We'll make them suffer for this. Because yeah, we were going to declare war on them soon anyways, probably as soon as we got our ships over here. And I'm assuming it's about the ruined ring world. That's the reason why they're declaring war, because this is going to flip over to us soon. So this could cause us a problem if they have ships in the area. But we'll deal with that after we get a tech selected. And out of these 3 choices, I think we're going to go with the cultural influence. That would be incredibly helpful. You got the growth for the influence and the culture points, and we can upgrade our cultural buildings as well. That will take us 3 turns. We have a couple shipyards that are idle. Golden Hall could construct a planet harvester, since we did just finish up with that fleet. So we'll get this constructed, and then we'll probably work on some additional warships, whatever we need for this secondary fleet here. So with these guys all built out at the 18 logistics, let's go and start sending them over to the front line. We'll need to protect these ships, so send them to the planet, since they could easily be destroyed by this small fleet that they have here. This isn't nothing special, just 2 frigates, but still more than we have in the area. And I'm also worried that they're a threat to our culture center here, and we need to increase the influence growth. So let's go and get the cultural exchange, since we now have some modules. We got 2 more, so we could get some advanced defenses, increased shield strength, or increased armor. However, that's not the only starbase we have here. We also have the trade station. So let's go and get the starbase defense system, since that increases influence as well as the attack and defense of that location. And then we have 1 more on their borders that we should probably invest in. And that'll be all of our modules, just improving their attack, shield strength, and also their influence. So we have another shipyard that has finished up construction. They're the ones who got the modules for us. We do need to get additional ones, but let's get 1 more constructor ship first, and then we'll do the modules. Alright, so we can move over to the next turn. We'll have to see what the AI does with their fleet, because they don't really have the combat strength to attack anywhere just yet. They couldn't take over these star bases or the shipyard. They certainly wouldn't be able to go after Jurassica. So until they move more ships into the area, they're not really a threat to us. This guy did attack our ships there. Looks like they did attempt to attack the ships that are in Jurassica. So I was hoping they wouldn't see them there, but they did. And so they're going to destroy the siege ships that we put there. So that's a bummer. And they're also going to destroy one of our probe ships that we had out there exploring. So not a huge loss there. But those are the opening conflicts of the battle, of the war I should say. And yeah, they keep on attacking these guys. That's really unfortunate. We moved them a little too close. So now we're going to attempt to get these guys destroyed if we have enough movement points. We did. Alright, so we don't need to watch this. This will be an easy battle, or we'll get revenge by destroying their frigates. So with those wiped out, we'll want to go after their battle fleet, which I believe is over here, because they're the ones who destroyed that probe. So we'll start moving over there. It's a shame that they destroyed all of my conquest ships. So bring these back over here, and this is why you often want to have some warships to defend those, so like a weak fleet can't easily wipe those out. So now we got to build a lot more of these to make up for the ones that we lost. We probably don't need that many. I don't know what the defenses of their planets are. We'll leave this small weak fleet over here, and then we're going to be building up this secondary fleet. We just finished up with the other harvester, and again we're going to be sending them over to this dead planet here. So next we need to get more warships created. I think we only have the 2 in here. So we're going to construct just 1 more of the Raptors, and then 2 more of all of our other ships. And then we'll see where they stand. So it looks like Draconis has finished up with the construction that we assigned them last episode for the Hollow Theater and the Housing District. That has further increased their population cap, with the Housing District and the capital city moving up in size, but also has granted us a bit more approval. So we're at 95% now. So the next thing we're going to want to work on is some solar farms. These make use of that Gigamass mechanic, requiring 2 of them, and they will reduce the pollution on the planet, which isn't too bad at 14%. It's quite a bit higher on Jurassica, but it also generates energy. So +2, and then with each level you get 0.25. It's a food improvement, so a little confusing there. So you're going to put that next to other food improvements, which is not really the focus of our capital planet, but the energy is required for many of these other types of Gigamass buildings, so they'll consume energy. and therefore we have to have the energy that they need in order to build these. And so some of these have some fantastic bonuses, and so therefore we really do want to get these solar farms constructed, but they do take a long time. 14 turns is not a short amount of time, and that's because of the construction cost of 1,000. So we're going to build a few other things first, like the surveillance center, which will reduce the crime on the planet, which has been climbing up. It's 14%. It does have a maintenance cost, but I have a great location for it, and that's right here. Well, what I like about putting it here is that we have 2 neighboring improvements which boost the military buildings by 3 points, and then of course the housing will boost anything that it's around, and then this also gives an adjacency bonus to any population places. So this is going to boost the housing district. Not that we really need more population cap on this planet, but we're trying to get it as high as we possibly can. So we're going to work on that. That's going to take 2 more turns. We also finished the construction on Jurassica. You can see that their pollution is quite a bit higher than our capital. And also it's going to take a lot longer to construct these solar farms as their manufacturing is just too low. So what we'll go ahead and do is we're going to boost up the manufacturing. That'll take 4 turns, and we'll see how much of a dent it makes in that 26 turns. Because I think it would be best to construct the solar farms right here. And so we would have to open up that area using our Gigamass, and being next to this agricultural district and the housing should give it a nice boost. So yeah, we'll see if we can't improve our manufacturing.
Our flagship has discovered an intriguing sight, a free-floating precursor cargo container. An overpowering sense of excitement envelops the bridge as we move closer to it. Our preliminary scans reveal that the container shelters an advanced particle beam. Despite its small size, it is quite remarkable, even if it isn't especially powerful. The component is packed with a high concentration of promethium.
So we can send the component to our shipyards. I'm not entirely sure what this would grant us, but we'll be able to use it in our flagship designs. You can only have so many flagships though, so I don't know if we'll do that one. We could instead get Prometheon, which is something that is a little bit rare for us. Or we could get 600 in treasury, which I believe that could easily buy us the 3 Prometheon. Yeah, they're worth 159 at the moment. So the better option would be to just get the 600 in our treasury. We'll be getting the cultural influence in the next turn, and we'll also have to see what our enemies do, where they send that fleet that they have, which again is a significant size fleet. Okay, so they went up north to go after another one of our probe ships. Okay, so they can take out these probe ships if they desire. I think we just had those all on auto explore. And we can see that they're also attacking us with their starbase here. So this is a military starbase, so we can't leave it there. We've got to deal with it. So we'll start with a missile volley. And unfortunately they did take out one of our ships here. So first hit them with the missile volley, and then it's saying that we will face moderate casualties, but again we can't leave them here. So we did achieve victory. We lost our 2 frigates and almost lost one of our corvettes. So a heavy cost, but we needed to face it. At least we didn't lose any of our larger ships there, our cruiser ships. So we're going to have to get those replaced. We'll just build those here in the Jurassica shipyard. We also lost both of our bombers. So we're going to place these all to the front of the queue. It's going to take us a total of 6 turns to get them all done. We could rush them out, but that's not what I want to invest our credits in. Instead, I want to invest them in our leaders. So this one here is really cheap, and he's got really good resolve. So we're going to go ahead and hire him. And then we're also going to be hiring this character. However, we're going to wait to do it. I'll tell you why in a little bit. First, let's get this character assigned. And I think the best position for him is here as our Minister of Defense. Our current minister has pretty good resolve, but nowhere near as good as this character at 16. Let's get him put in place. So that's going to improve the hit points and the planetary defenses for all of our colonies. And then what we'll do with this character is we're going to go ahead and make use of him here in the factions. So he has low social skill and a high resolve, and so that would make him a good fit for the Warforged faction. So each point of his resolve will be increasing our military by 3.9%. That's basically the manufacturing of your shipyards. So we'll be able to construct ships faster, while each point in his social skill will be increasing crime on all our worlds by 1.3%. So basically, we want the resolve of the character to be as high as possible and his social skills to be as low as possible. I wish his were a bit lower. 6 is kind of high here. It's also affected by the favor that you have with the faction. We got pretty good favor, so that results in better bonuses, and the penalties aren't as significant here. So in total, it's going to be 8.1%. So that was not telling us what we'd get for each point, since we're getting 8.1% for his 13 points and only 2% on crime for his 6 points in social there. So that's pretty helpful. It's not increasing crime too much, but it is giving us some military points. So we'll be able to get the construction of our ships done a bit faster. We got this Raptor done. We're going to add this into this fleet here. Remember, we've already got the ships set up there. I got another trade offer, which is again not very good. So we're going to go ahead and ignore that. And then with this fleet here, we're going to have to let them heal up and to get their replacements before we're able to send them after the enemy. So I think we should probably trade to get some modules. And this is our best trade partner. We have our diplomat there and a fairly good relationship with them. So we're going to offer them some resources and a bit of credits to get 8 modules. So they should accept that. And then we'll be able to use those to improve some of our star bases, particularly those that are exposed, like these 2 here. Try and get them some better defenses. We're also going to get them the Precursor Relic Lab. Even though that's not improving the defenses, it's pretty helpful to have. So we'll get the advanced defenses, and then we could get the cultural exchange, but again, we should probably focus on getting their shield strength and their armor rating up. So this will be much more difficult for them to attack. They'll need a decently strength fleet to be able to do that. And unfortunately, we're lacking the Durantium, so we'll need to purchase some of that. But luckily, we do have plenty of credits. So we'll get ourselves, I don't know, it's kind of expensive. So we'll just get like 3 of those for now. So we can get the advanced defenses. We're also going to get the mining barracks, just because it's helpful. Could get the mining headquarters, but we can only get 2 more of these. So let's instead increase their armor and their shield strength. I don't know if that'll be good enough. I'm going to go set these guys up to just pass their turn for now. To defend themselves, probably not, but at the very least, we'll kill a lot of them if they attack. I didn't see how strong their fleet was. They don't have a high military strength, so I feel like that one fleet can't be too significant in strength, and it might be the only one they have. We got our tech cultural influence, so we could get some improved weapons or the starship refits. It does make sense to focus on our fleet. We could also get the cultural outreach. However, we're going to be getting the stellar architecture so that we can get the Dyson spheres. So if you recall, I said that this is just far too long to wait at 17 months and we needed to step up our research. However, we have a leader who's a genius, and thus when we hire them, they complete whatever technology you're currently researching, regardless of how expensive it is. So let's go and get him hired, and then you'll see that we just got the stellar architecture, even though it was extremely expensive. So you always want to save those geniuses for when you have a technology that's really expensive, or just, select something that's going to take you a while to get. And again, we're going to select something from over here where we're not going to get the 50% research bonus, but the living ships is just too good for us not to get. It'll take us 4 turns, reduce the maintenance to nothing, and also allow our ships to repair themselves. We do need to assign that new leader we just hired. He's got good diligence. His social and his resolve are just okay. However, we also just got a new minister, the Minister of Culture. This position increases influence based on the social of the assigned minister. And while his social is not fantastic at 8, you'll see that it's better or just tied with our other best character here. We just don't have a lot of options. I think 8's the highest that we have besides that one diplomat who has the social skill of 10. Again, we get that -2 from our species, as that results in most of our characters being much lower in social skills. So with this construction done, crime is now non-existent on our capital planet. So we don't have any crime and are not facing the penalties for that. So I'd like to get the growth increased on this planet. We have a very high population cap that we're not making use of, and it's just growing far too slow. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove the housing district that's here. And then we'll place the colonial clinic there. So that'll increase growth by 20. And then every level grants an additional 10%. It also has a +2 adjacency bonus for population. So that would improve this housing district and this one and the capital city. And of course, all of these would be improving it. So it will result in a very good growth bonus. Seems one of our other planets has finished up construction, the Ring of the Ancients. Not a lot of locations still to build here, just this one. So we're going to want to use our Gigamass to open up another tile. Probably this one here. You can also do this location. I think this one might be a little bit better, given that it's got the agriculture and the housing district surrounding it. So there's a lot of good stuff we could get there, particularly considering the fact that they're almost at their population cap. That's going to take them 3 turns. And this fleet here, remember, we're just going to have them continue to pass while we build their replacements. We should probably get an additional probe to replace the ones that we lost. So we'll just get, we'll get 2 of these, since our enemies did destroy 2 of them, unfortunately. So still building up this fleet. They need about 4 more ships. And then this constructor ship needs to build a cultural center to boost the Ring of the Ancients, so a communication starbase, which gives those cultural influence bonuses. Unfortunately, don't have any modules for them just yet, but I believe we have those being constructed. So we have found the enemy fleet, or perhaps it's more accurate to say that they have found us. So they're pretty strong at the 19 combat rating. Not quite as strong as our own fleet here, but they're also damaged. We did get another Raptor ship completed, so let's go and add them in there. And you can see that our combat rating is now 22. So we should be able to win this battle, despite the fact that we don't have all of our replacements just yet. We're going to move up here as well, just to get away from that fortress. Let's go ahead and do a missile volley first, to weaken them a bit. Looks like we destroyed one of their ships. And so we're not getting a battle prediction here. So we don't know how well we'll do, but I expect that we will win this. So this is a big battle here. They do have their own cruiser. Overall, they have a lot more ships because the majority of these are fighters and bombers. They do have the 2 frigates. We have our cruiser, which is one of our legendary ships. And then we have the 2 corvettes, 1 frigate, and then 2 fighters. So hopefully those fighters can take out some of these bombers before they do heavier damage to our bigger ships, particularly the cruisers. Yeah, we'll just have to see how this goes, guys. So we will watch the battle. Maybe we'll speed it up a bit, since they do take a while. We can also hop the ships up over here so we can see how they're doing. Yeah, so this is going much faster. Lots of explosions here. Looks like we lost a couple ships, unfortunately, but they were just the 2 smaller ones, the fighters. And it's crazy how bad they lost. I think part of that is just better ship design on our part. But more than that, we also have a lot of bonuses from some of the military techs that we got that they might not have, because I don't think they're focusing as much on the military technology. Our cruiser did get enough experience to level up, so we can get them the crew quarters to increase their hit points, the command bridge to increase their moves, the communications terminal, increase their sensor range, or the antimatter warheads to increase their missile attack, and I think that's what we're going to get. Let's increase their attack power. Just overall make the fleet a bit stronger. So that is all their moves for this turn, but I believe we just completely wiped out their fleet. They might have some more ships somewhere, but I think the majority of their fleet was just destroyed. So we should be able to now invade them without too many issues. Kind of depends on how quickly they rebuild their fleet. Our planet harvester has finished up over here, so we're going to want to have them work on the next dead world to produce even more Gigamass for us, because we're going to be using that soon. So we've just entered the year 2314, and we've got a new event.
Your flagship reaches the peculiar artifact. Its original function is known only to the ancient precursors. Nonetheless, deep within it lies a container filled with valuable antimatter. Your crew cautiously extracts the antimatter and stores it for future use.
Alright, so we'll just get 1 plus antimatter there. Not all that useful since we have quite a bit of that already. We also finished up the construction on Draconis. So now let's go ahead and build our first solar farm. We're going to put it in the desert. Makes sense to put it there even though it doesn't actually give us any bonuses. And even though it's a food improvement, you can build it in the desert. I'm not entirely sure why it's in the food category of improvements, since it's not producing food, it's producing energy. But we're not going to get any good bonuses since we don't have anything around that. But eventually we're going to improve that, because I assume we'd want to get these solar farms in this location and maybe in this one as well. So that is going to take 14 turns. We might want to speed that up eventually by constructing a supply ship. But first, let's get these military ships done since we are at war. I think the military should be our priority. Let's go and improve the cultural districts again, since influence is the main focus for Draska, considering that they're on the border with an enemy civilization. Also, we're sitting at the population cap. One way to deal with that, I haven't shown that in this campaign at all, is we have this recruiting station which is increasing growth. We could replace that with the habitat ring in order to get 6+ population cap. Will cost us 250 credits and 2.5 gigamass. Could of course just assign that here to this extra spot we have and then eventually replace that once we grow a bit larger, and I guess that's what we'll do. Another option is to get an artificial moon. This will get us 4 more tiles, so that's another use for Gigamass. You'll see that Gigamass is incredibly powerful, so you want to get as much of that as you can. But for now, we'll go ahead and get the habitat ring. So we finally completed the living ships tech. That's going to really help out our fleet as well as our economy. I suppose we'll get the directed energy weapons next. We could get the Megastructure Nexi, and since it's one of these 3, we'd get the 50% bonus, but that would still take 11 months for us to get, so I think it's just a little too long. So the last thing I wanted to do in today's episode is when we got that one tech, we got a Stellar Architect. And I started moving it over here towards this yellow star. I wanted to show you guys how much the Dyson Sphere would cost us. So it's 30 gigamass and would take 8 months to build, so we don't quite have it. We're at 26. Doesn't help that we continue using our gigamass for a few different helpful things, but that's what we're going to want to do eventually once we have enough gigamass. So I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. I do hope to see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.